Go. Let's have a good.
Okay, folks, here we go.
Guys, here we go. Let's have a good show.
1B, stand by. Okay,
Yeah.
Yacht,
Yeah,
take it.
get at midfield.
Take
Just go
it.
right now. Go to camera 3. 3.
Can you
Go to the gate. Perfect.
you.
Just like that.
I'll just go ahead.
Yeah. Graphics 2 is going to be up for the first.
Okay.
Go right now. Go to camera 3. Go. Yep.
Can you
Go to the gate. Perfect. Just like that. No music.
I'm going to hand to Q, Sophie.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Radio. Be on radio in the Canal Zone.
All right, guys, mic check.
Yep. Go ready.
Okay, Ricky, mic.
Yep, I am ready.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. 2.5.
Willie, mic check.
Yep, let's go.
1B, stand by.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're live.
Okay, and go for it, guys.
All right, guys. It is Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Happy hour at the Balboa Yacht Club. And I can't believe it's already the 18th of October, man. It seems like October.
Mid-October.
Right? It's they go fast, man, especially at the end of the year when you know they get into that holiday season and certainly the hurricanes and all that stuff made time fly. But nonetheless, Ricky, what's going on, man? How you doing, man? Happy
Oh,
Friday.
good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. It's 5 o'clock out here on the West Coast, and we're having some great weather as well. We had a little heat wave there about a week ago, and then now we're back to cold 59 degree around that area, 63. But yes, guys, thank you for once again joining us Friday. You know, it's our day to celebrate the Canal Zone and a time for Willie and I to, both of us born and raised in the Canal Zone, to bring you a little bit of our history, a little bit of our way of life, and the latest on the Zonian events, both in the United States and Panama. It's a
Past and
show,
present.
past and present, yes. And it's a show we like to dedicate it to the history of the Canal Zone,
Yeah.
and the latest of what's going on in the canal. Willie and I both card-carrying members of the Panama Canal Society, something that we're dear to and we speak a lot about. But anyway, Willie, welcome everybody. Welcome, and thank you for being with us. We have a great show, and Willie will tell us all about it. But before we do that, cheers.
Salute. Little Tennessee volunteer action today. They got Alabama Crimson Tide this weekend. Let me tell you something. College football. Hold on. Salute. Doers and water. College football has changed a lot for everybody who's a college football fan. I know it's not a Canal Zone thing, but actually it is. I mean, the Zone was very, very much a football-friendly community. But ever since they changed the rules in college football, right, where the players now get paid those nil deals, right, NIL, whatever you want to call it, along with the transfer portal now, where if you don't want to play there, you put yourself in that transfer portal and you can go anywhere you want. They have more free agency than the pros do, right? And some of these guys are making millions of dollars. There's a guy that played for UNLV, recently got into a dispute with the university over his NIL money, and he's not playing now. So it's getting really chaotic. It's some people like it because they say there's a lot of more parity. It certainly looks that way now. But
I know Vanderbilt beating Bama.
wow, that was huge. That was that one. I'm not sure if that was so much of people moving to Vandy all of a sudden as a big program. But look at Texas. I mean, they're doing really well. But there is a lot of parity. I think Saban stepping down at Alabama has got everybody else to step their game up in the SEC because now they kind of feel like, all right,
Yeah,
he's
the
gone.
opening that doesn't seem to come around quite a lot.
But speaking of football, we're gonna try and get either the Albrook Jets folks on or the Balboa Rams folks on either next week or the following, and get that kicked off now that we're in football season full swing. And if we're going to talk football, we might as well talk some Canal Zone football. But
Yeah. And
Anyhow,
Panama right now, Panama Little League football, I think they have a different word for it, but they're playing right now too. Like lightweights and
yeah.
heavyweights are playing now.
Well, after the Rams and the Little League, the Canal Zone Little League or whatever you ended up calling it, after that folded, the Kiwanis actually formed a league. And
Yeah.
then there's another league there now, and they're pretty. I mean, it's like everything else in Panama, it's grown quite a bit. It's a lot bigger, and football there certainly took hold. Uh,
Yep. The
with
high school level, it's 5 solid teams.
yeah, yeah. And remember when we had Coach Holland on back several months ago? Um, he does a lot of recruiting, not just talking about football in Panama, but in Latin America. A lot of the kids that he sends that aren't quite at the level to go play college in the U.S., they go to Mexico, and there's a
With
lot of
scholarship.
football in
Yeah, on
Mexico. With
scholarships.
college
Yep.
football in Mexico is really big too, which is kind of strange to think about. But nonetheless, it all comes back to where we started at the Balboa Rams, and then Bulldogs, Red Machine.
Well, there's a lot of Mexican in NFL football players,
Yeah,
for them to, love the sport.
they do, and certainly, I mean, football's big in Texas, and obviously there's a huge Mexican population there as well. So
Correct. Correct.
it's an easy connection. But then again, like we said, we in the zone once the Kiwanis came in, Panama fell in love with football, and it's shown because their leagues are really really good. Even 15, 20 years ago, they had flag football leagues that had people going overseas and playing, in Europe in tournaments and stuff. Where Panama,
Correct.
having that pedigree and having the background from the U.S., I think has helped them, get ahead of the curve from a lot of countries where it's a new sport.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also have a program to have some of the OG Kiwani coats coming on to talk
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. In fact, if any of them are listening tonight, stay tuned because we definitely are getting that going. We kind of put a pause on it. We had some disruptions with the hurricane and some rescheduling of some things, but yeah, that's definitely coming on because that's going to be interesting to see how all that stuff worked with the
Yeah, yeah.
Kiwanis
'Cause,
and
I mean, the first 2 years, I think that was it, that they weren't that good. After that, they got good fast.
yeah,
I
no,
mean,
it
they
was
were competitive by the third or fourth year of
yeah,
ever playing football. So yeah, right on, man. So it'll be good to have those guys on, Willie.
yeah, it should be interesting. I'm looking at our number here, and I don't see anybody on YouTube. And I know again, this thing, the way it's scheduled stuff. Uh, I'm wondering which. Let me look at something here. Bear with me a second.
No, I can continue this. Well,
Yeah, go
guys,
ahead and do that
tonight
while I.
while Willie's looking at that, because we are on a new platform, so we are still. This one's a lot more technical than the last one, and so we're still working out
Yeah, we definitely need a producer. If
how
anybody
to
wants
use it.
out, we need a producer.
We have to step it. We had to step it up, guys, and this is the platform we're on right now. It's a much better for us
Yeah.
to grow this podcast. But tonight, my very best friend in the whole wide world is going to be on with us, and that is Mr. Jerry Curtis. He'll be on tonight talking about his company from Panama. It's a motorcycle adventure company.
Yeah, Panama Motorcycle Adventures.
And we're going to find out all about it, fall in love with that company, and hopefully a lot of you Zonians, when you come to Panama, will look into taking on these tours that they do, throughout the interior, and you will be. But anyways, we're going to leave that for a little bit later for the guys to explain it. So we got that coming up. We got a good Bochincha segment coming up. The short version, because we've now discovered that when we have guests, we have two versions of Bochinche. The long version, which is my favorite, and then the short version, which is the guest favorite. So tonight we're going to do the short version, but it's going to be a great Bochinche. It's more historical than social.
Yeah, and
Also,
we're trying to bring our shows down to hour and a half seems to be more ideal, and even maybe an hour at some point. But 2 hours has been a little bit on the long side, and so we're certainly aware of that, and we're we're working on it, trying to retool a couple of things.
we just enjoy bringing you all this history and all this,
It is a
things
week.
that we grew
Oh,
up
it
with
is.
and how we did it and all that, and our pictures and oh my God, we just love this stuff, guys. And we do love that you guys watch it because, the numbers too, they're pretty good, Willie. I mean, it's surprising how many people watch our show. And I love it, So
Yeah.
that's why we're here every Friday.
Live version, but that's okay. It's after the fact, so we definitely have a lot of people tuning in. But if we can get the live version, you know, built up some more, that'd be more, get some more engagement on there. But nonetheless, um, it is what it is. What it is right now. We're still having a lot of fun. It's great to just talk to people and say hello to people. The birthday segment is a lot of fun. Everybody really loves that, and we got a pretty good sized birthday list for this week.
I
In
told her, I'm trying. It's all the February babies, all the
yeah,
babies that were made in February.
yeah, exactly. So that's another fun thing that we're doing. But you know, in addition to that, of course, we like to talk about the Pan Canal Society and what they do for the Canal Zone to keep this Canal Zone story going and this message. And and one of the things that helps out, of course, is funding through membership, right? As we've said before, there's a lot of people that are Zonians. They are involved in a lot of Zonian activities, but they don't join the society, you know,
Yeah.
and it's $50. I mean, it's hell, it's a tank of gas. It's a birthday gift or a Christmas gift, right? And
Yeah.
so speaking of gifts, you know, one of the things that we want to start doing is this hundred gift membership in 100 days. And so reach out to the society right now. They've waived all the processing fees, the $10 fees if you're a new member or if you haven't renewed in a while. Uh, but you know, get involved with the society simply by signing up for the membership. It helps keep them funded, which helps you guys and everyone else enjoy all the benefits of being a Zonian. It's an awesome thing to be a Zonian, but it's a lot more fun when we're all at the reunion together, when we're sharing the Canal record and all these things there. So make sure that you get involved and you join them and get that membership renewed. So between now and the 31st of December, uh, reach out to the society, let them know that you want to participate in this 100 memberships in 100 days. You know, this Happy Hour at the Balboa Yacht Club program. There's a lot of great sponsors that are helping us out. That you know, we want to uh, appreciate what they're doing for us to again keep this dream alive and keep this wonderful story that we have, which is Happy Hour at the Balboa Yacht Club, which is the Canal Zone and something that we all love dearly, and it's something that was really important to us. So let's help these guys out. You know, we've got Kelly Fenton and her daughter Rachel Fenton. They've got a great Compass Realty, does a lot of great real estate work here in Florida and in Panama. Right. So if you're looking to either buy a property, sell a property, and now, of course, as we've learned with these really terrible storms, there's a lot of people taking advantage and they're coming out and very nefarious. If you suddenly get an offer or something, you know, regarding a property you may have that's been damaged, reach out to these ladies and they'll set you straight on what you should or shouldn't do. And again, if you're interested in anything in Florida or in Panama, reach out to them. Larry Cicero, you know, these guys at Beacon Solar, they've got an amazing solar program, both commercial and residential, that we're looking forward to having them come to Florida as well. And Larry's going to come on and tell us about that as well. But you know, solar's changed quite a bit, and it's something that nowadays works really well. Certainly here in Florida, once your hurricanes get through, it's nice. The last few days it's been nice and sunny here. So anybody with solar right now that didn't have power, they've got power now. You know, having those solar panels. So give those guys a call, look them up because it's a fellow Zonian that's helping us out here, and we'd love to send business their way as well. The the Howler Monkey sauce, those guys are fantastic. I love that hot sauce. They've got 4 different flavors. Yellow is my favorite, amarillo, but they've got that. They've got a verde sauce. They've got their a really picante, really hot sauce, and then their original flavor. They're available in public stores if you're in Florida or in the Southeast, and if not, they're on Amazon. You can get them ordered there as well. But those are fantastic. That, like I said, that amarillos, man, is my favorite. I've talked about that before we even had this program. I really do like that stuff. Um, you know, I make sure I always have that, you know, in the pantry there for sure. Al Sprague and Panama Arts, those guys are a great supporter of the channel, have been since day one, and we're in that holiday season. So get yourself an Al Sprague original painting. Get yourself one of their tote bags. You know, they've got towels, they've got the tumblers, a lot of great stuff with that that awesome, iconic Al Sprague art. So they've been big supporters of the program. So return that favor. And again, it's a holiday season. You're going to stock up on some cool Canal Zone or Panama memorabilia. That's the place to go. Is PanamaArt.com. Our friends here at Panama Motorcycle Adventures are coming on here shortly. Jerry and Abdiel are going to join us and talk about what they have going on, and we're getting closer to that ocean to ocean event that they have. But they have other things going on as well, which we're going to learn about and check them out. So that's exciting. Of course, Andrew Eftimitis with both Cascada Lodge and Sea Panama, and remember that's CSEA Panama. Those guys have some really cool things going on in the zone. They've got an awesome bed and breakfast there right in the heart of Balboa. Check them out there. They've got a pool, a spa. They've got world-class cuisine. And again, they're right in the middle of Balboa. If you want to go take a boat out to Contador, they're doing weekend charters to Contador. They've got, a couple of boats. Some of them will hold 55 people. So if you got a big group, maybe going down to Panama in January, check them out. They might have a boat for you guys to take out, both big or small. So, and again, those guys have been big supporters of the channel for a long, long time. We really, really appreciate them as well. And then, of course, Come Fish Panama. Those guys are big, big supporters of ours. We appreciate everything that they're doing for the channel in addition to sponsoring this program. But they've got some amazing fishing adventures. So maybe when you finish riding your motorcycle across the isthmus and doing that ocean to ocean, you turn around and go do some fishing for a weekend there with these guys at Come Fish Panama, because they're out there in that region, out in Chiriquí, Bocas del Toro, all that area. They've got some really, really awesome fishing programs. So definitely check them out. Again, our sponsors, we appreciate you guys so much for helping out with this. 100 memberships in 100 days. Right? You're going to buy a friend, a loved one, a Christmas gift, a birthday gift over the next couple of months. It's going to run you $50 anyway. Why not make it a membership to the society?
And the gold standard one, you get 5. It counts as 5 memberships.
Absolutely. And it's that $250 gets you that governor's club, which is a 5-year membership. You don't have to worry about it for 5 years. It's a great deal. And again, just the reunion alone is worth it. To spend $50 for the year to be able to take advantage of all those things there. Those hotels are nice. They're expensive though, but even the discount on the food, that in itself will get you that $50.
Give you that $50 back. Correct. That is correct. We did make a mistake last time, Willie. We were like food and drinks, and we got corrected on that quickly.
Yeah, we did. But it is. And then even, they have that Saturday pool party and they have the free beer, but you have to be a member of the society for that. So knowing Zonians, when it's free beer, they'll drink $20-$30 right there. There's half of your membership right there that's covered on that. Right. So it's not a lot in the scheme of things for what you're helping the society do, which is keep them going and keep this Canal Zone memory and story alive, guys, because they really do a lot of wonderful things for us. And so we're really appreciative of that. But anyhow, enough on that.
Really, we're looking at the YouTube and it's just not loading. So we're going to lose out on those guys tonight.
I did post just now on Facebook and on a couple of the channels. See, there's another YouTube channel. Let's
because we do get a lot of people from YouTube, so it's worth to take the 5 minutes or so to look into
but it's
it.
not that. I think it's gotten loaded twice. And Dave just sent me a message here. Let me see. It was just 2 minutes ago. I do want to try something here. I shouldn't, but I will, because I do stupid things like that. Let me do something here. Ricky, sing a song or do a dance or something.
No, we'll do
Jump out
99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer. Remember that, going to all our gym days, guys? Well, anyway, so what we're going to talk about is the podcast, guys. We are truly learning how to do this, and because we love it so much, that's why we do it. But we're getting a little too technical for our level of experience. So please bear with us on this. But for us, it's really important, even going through these moments, to still bring you our podcasts and do the best job we can. But what I can do while we wait for Willie to come back is jump right into the Bochincha segment. We're not going to do it with the music because again, too technical for me to figure that one out. So we're going to jump right into the Bochincha segment, guys. And today's Bochinche, believe it or not, is going to be short because we want to get to Jerry's company. So today, what we're going to talk about is the message from our new Panama Canal Society president. His name is Carl Orvis. I actually grew up with him, and he is our new president that took over. Willie, we jumped into Bochinche.
All right, hold that thought if you don't mind. There's two streams running right now, so let's jump out of this one. Abdiel, Jerry, stand by. I'm going to send you the new link. I'll throw it in WhatsApp. Jerry, I'll send it to you an email. Uh, and jump into that one. It should take just a couple of seconds. But let's jump into the other studio, Ricky, because this one is broadcasting to nobody. I don't think. Hold on. There's somebody in the comments here. Andrew, hold on.
Yeah, we got 7 comments. Well, we got yeah.
So you know what? Let's never mind. We're just gonna stay here. Just everybody spread the word if you don't mind. Jump into one of your social media channels and share the current YouTube channel because right now, I did post it in Facebook. So if you guys go to the society page, if you go to the Canal Zone, the CZ Brats page, or Panama Canal Zone Zonians page, there's a new link in there as well as on my page for the stream. So hopefully people will jump on here. If not, everybody will catch it when on the rebound. But nonetheless, did you get to throw on your intro and everything?
No, let's regroup. Let's just regroup. Get back. We don't need to jump into the Bochinche. I didn't know how long you were going to take.
Yeah, no. I just had to check in there. There was another one running, but we're just going to stay in this one. So anyhow, let's go ahead and kick it off the way we should be doing it.
El bochinche, el bochinche, el bochinche, el bochinche, el bochinche, el bochinche, el bochinche,
All right, hold on. There we go.
Take 2.
Take 2. So,
No, I think I hear the second stream on the background.
yeah, I think it's that, or if you have speakers on, it may be a reverb on your speakers. But nonetheless, we'll go to that right now. We'll take what we get.
Guys, well, thank you. Coming back to El Bochinche, our short segment. Coming today, starting off with our message from our Panama Canal Society president, Mr. Orvis, Carl Orvis. He's a 3rd generation Zonian, so that means his grandfather came over.
Nice.
And did some construction on the canal. He was born in Cocosolo and then moved over to the Pacific side. And at the reunion, Willie and I found out that the people from Cocosolo have a word for that. They're called bys. They're bi-coastal or by side. Well, Carl was raised in Diablo. He was also a Balboa ram and a bulldog and a very, very well-dressed man, let me tell you, growing up. Carl's just 1 year above me. But he is now picking up where the last president left off, which was a good job. And he's running with the challenges that the Canal Society is facing. And his approach is going to be to bring the future, which is what I like how he put this, is to bring the future while preserving our everlasting traditions. So that's a good way of looking at, that we've got to modernize, we probably cost some of the things we do, but keep that tradition, Canal Zone Zonian tradition still alive. And they're gonna need all our help. And that's something that we're all about here, guys, is to help as much as we can with the Panama Canal Society. Because guys, look, they help with the historical part of the canal, as well as the great traditions that we have and those reunions that we do once a year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. And then speaking of the Canal Society, we
Well,
have
well, cheers to the new president then, and good luck to you, Carl. And anything that we can do to help you out, by all means, count on us.
Willie.
Mm.
And coming back to the Canal Society information, coming up in Christmas, guys, this is another way to support the society is the Christmas luncheon. And it's going to be it's in Ybor City in Tampa at the Columbia restaurant. I believe I've eaten there actually with Jerry back in the past. And Willie, who's that we got on there?
I have no idea. Yeah, just keep going. You're good. Just keep running with the show. I'm
Yeah,
watching it.
yeah, that's funny. And guys, so anyways, the Canal Zone Society luncheon is coming up in December. It's going to be in Tampa at the Columbia restaurant. So you guys, it's $42. Get your sign up for that because it's you got to sign up. You can't just show up, and you're gonna have some pretty good food there. For arroz con pollo is gonna be served, ropa vieja is gonna be served, as well as a veggie cubana for those that don't want to eat meat. It's also gonna be served. So that's the second thing we have today on that. And to wrap up and finalize our quick short segment, we're gonna talk a little bit about the canal. Actually, no, we got two things like always. The canal. The canal today came out with some difficult news, and we kind of expected, and that was revenue for fiscal year last year. And a lot of that had to do with the challenges brought on by the drought. So a little bit of bad news on the canal, but that's on the money side. But on the positive side, which is what we're all about here, in September, they boosted the number of transit to 36, which is, good for our
Sure.
operations. Yeah. And they also started the new reservoir. They're going to expand the canal, the water, and it's going to allow the canals, the ACP is going to allow them to go up to 40 transits a day,
Oh,
between 36
nice.
and 40, obviously, depending on the weather. And
Sure.
our Capitan can inform us more on that.
Yeah, and there he is right there on the screen, whopping loco.
Yeah, Wapping Local. And then also another good news on the canal, they had a ship come through just recently and broke records on the size of the largest Neo
Right.
Max vessel. And that would be the ones that go through the new locks.
Yes, correct.
So the biggest one ever just transit. So that's also good news. And a couple of weeks ago, we told you that the cruise season has started, and Panama's going to have over 225 anchorings of
Yeah.
cruise lines.
And Ricky,
And
in that article that I sent you, there was and some interesting numbers in there on percentages of ships that are using the new locks versus the old locks. The Neo Panamax versus the Panamax. It's just kind of interesting to see that it's obviously something that was needed because there's a lot of ships running through those new locks, so they're definitely getting their money's worth out of them.
yeah, I mean that's 40 pilots a day, cruising through. So yeah, Andrew is busy, busy. So that's kind of, and then also in Panama, guys, there's not much happening. So we're reporting on the canal because it's rainy season. It's one of those. It's at the season where it rains twice a week.
Yeah,
First for
at
3 days, and then for 4 days.
yeah. That's true. That's very
Yeah,
true.
so not much happening. Everybody's at home watching novelas, eating, and well, anyway, so that's what's going on in Panama, guys. But to wrap this up truly, because I want to start adding some of these stories in, and that's from our good friend who's actually a birthday boy, Posada, Juan Posada. He has, if you guys have been following our podcast, he has a Instagram account called Canal Zone PTY. So what he does is he brings us past buildings in the canal zone and what they look like today. So
Correct.
today we're going to mention, because we constantly talk about this building when we talk about going over to the other side, when we get off at Mount Hope and there's that big industrial building there. So that's what we're going to talk about today. That industrial building in Mount Hope, I think it was called Building 7030. was actually built to do several things. Right, it was an industrial laboratory. This is back in 1929, and it also housed a bakery. It also housed all the packaging of bulk food or
Yep.
wholesale food that would come into the canal zone, and from there would go to all the commissaries,
Yep.
both military and civilian, and package stores and all that stuff. So that was kind of like the hub,
And the
you
cold
know,
storage was there.
and the cold storage was there. Correct. Across the street, Willie, was the where they made ice cream, and I got a good story
Oh,
on this.
okay.
So the building and went back in 1979. I mean, didn't go back, but it was transferred over to Panama,
Okay.
and they took it over, and eventually they turned it into a penitentiary. And
Mm,
so it went from Mount Hope to the penitentiary called New Hope, but it was a temporary penitentiary while they built their new one,
right.
which is like 30-year wait. But they just started construction on the new penitentiary. But the building has been abandoned since I believe '96, around there, something like
Okay.
that. Yeah, and it's I don't know if they're gonna knock it down, but
I
that's
imagine
what
they
we
will.
have. But here's the story. Here's the bochinche. Back in the 1900s, when the Canal Zone was starting, they contracted this family out of Canada to come into the Canal Zone and do all the ice cream and
Okay.
roasting coffee for the Canal Society. That they got the contract to build it. So those guys were there,
For the Panama
and
Canal Company.
for the Panama Canal Company, and they did
Okay.
that delicious ice cream that we all love, butter
Yeah.
brickle,
Right.
Neapolitan, all that good stuff that we love. The one with the cherry, the strawberry cherry one. Oh, those things were delicious. Well, the family were out of Canada were the Coiner family. And in 1979, they had to give up their contract, right?
Right.
Because the Canal Zone was no longer. And Richard Coiner decided to go to Boquete. And because, he brought the roasting to the Canal Zone. He
Sure.
had,
Sure. He was a
yeah,
coffee man.
yeah, correct. So he went to Boquete and he started, doing his roasting and his coughing deal up there. And he founded the company called Cafe Corowa. Now, all of you that don't know who this guy is or who that coffee is, these are the guys that win best of in the
Wow.
world.
Okay. Yeah. So we talked about last week with big
Yeah,
coffee
best of
competition.
geisha, best of
Wow.
traditional varieties. This is a Zonian,
That's amazing.
and he's the third generation coffee producer. And for this, Mr. Richard Coiner, we salute you
Yes.
and the
Oh,
Canal
ooh.
Zone way.
Right. Another Zonian.
Really, when I read that, I couldn't believe what I was reading. I was like,
Yeah.
"What?
Right.
What did it start in Kottawa?" Right on, man.
That's
So
amazing.
that is amazing. Now we do have a Zonian, Carey. I believe his first God, John Kerry and his brother Jim. Oh my God, he's gonna kill me. I forgot his name, but he is roasting also in Boquete, and selling and selling it over here in the United States. But he's not roasting in Panama. He's roasting in North Carolina. But I'll
Right.
get his name and I'll get all that. So, but the thing is, his geisha. So he's very limited on who gets his coffee. But he's gonna be up there in the those contests where people participate,
Sure.
and the geisha, yes. But I'll get more information on him because I just read this morning and I wasn't able to reach out to him. But I do want to reach out to him and get his coffee. Maybe a
Yeah.
bunch of us women can get,
That's cool, man.
yeah, if we can get first choice on his geisha. Is that how you
Yeah.
say that? Geisha or is it geisha?
It's geisha, but then some of them call it gesha, which was the coffee bean that they brought from Ethiopia. And they decided to try it in Costa Rica and Boquete, the highlands, and there turned out that the Boquete Volcan area was much, much better. So that's where it gained that recognition, and that's where they had that $1,300 a pound coffee that they sold recently. So that's pretty cool, man.
Amazonian, man.
That's
And they
very nice,
ran,
very
they
nice.
ran, they worked in that big building that we never popped up. If you guys want to look at the building, Willie can probably bring it up for us. And
Yeah,
what it looks like then, and what it looks like now. But we don't want to. We don't want
I'll look
to.
in one of those Jamie Massot collections because he has a really nice picture of it as well from back in the day, also. It was a pretty good sized building, that cold storage one.
Oh
So
yeah, no,
that was
that
a
thing
good
was
bochiche, man.
enormous.
That was cool.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 10 stories high.
Yeah, it's good size. Listen, there was a lot of the zone became a big place to feed and support, and it was early on that they started bringing in cold food and cold storage and stuff. So I mean, you really were, even back in the day, we're starting to support them and eat well and all that. So now that's cool, man. Right on. Well done. Well done. So now let's switch
Drop in.
gears real quick and go to our birthdays because we are a little bit behind schedule here. But let's jump into our birthdays because we got a pretty good
I
side.
know we tried.
We do our best. It's all good. But yeah, dale con los cumpleaños.
35 minutes, not bad, not bad. Well, happy birthday to everybody. We're gonna start it with the 81s, of course. I got true to my heart. Pam Castle, happy birthday to you. Rafael de la Fuente, happy birthday. Dr. Helen Hurst, a very, very dear friend of mine.
Right on.
And Virginia Waller, la hermanita de Wally Waller.
Oh yes, right on.
Yeah, happy birthday to those 81s. Beautiful 81s.
Yeah, right
Young 81s.
on.
And move on to the big guy for the Balboa Ran World, Ray Maston. Happy
Yes.
birthday.
Happy birthday,
Yes.
Ray. Right
Hey,
on.
Jorge Posada, the man we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to him. Larry Masterson, another big Zonia name.
Mhm.
Happy birthday. Vern Caturia. Is
Yep.
that the brother of what's that girl's name?
Susan.
Caturia?
Susan
Susan.
Couturier.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, their dad was principal at BHS.
Oh, right on, right
Yeah.
on. John Hewsome from the great Hewsome family.
Yeah.
Willie, John at the reunion got the second prize for that. Remember that raffle thing they had there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that got the nice present. I mean,
Nice. Good for
yeah,
him.
he got the second prize for that.
Right on, John.
Sue Norman, happy birthday,
Yeah.
Sue. Nikki Pujo, why early day. She was a neighbor of ours, Willie, growing
Mhm.
up. They
Yeah.
lived right next door to me.
Yeah. I remember that.
Christy Ford, la hermanita de Mark Ford. Happy
Yep.
birthday,
And then Mark
Christy.
Ford and
Good for
Scotty Ford. Her uncle was the vice president of Panama.
Correct.
Yeah.
He actually graduated with my father. They went to Balboa High School together.
Oh, okay.
Guillermo
Right
Ford,
on.
yeah. Guillermo
Yes.
Ford, the vice president, was
Yeah.
a Balboa High School
That's
graduate.
right. That's right. Very cool.
Mary
Well, happy birthday,
Toasted.
Chrissy. Yes,
Mary
very
Toasted,
toasted.
what
How about that?
great girl. Happy birthday. And so some of the cool guys, Kevin Brandenburg, class of 83. Happy birthday, Mr. Kevin. Is Kevin the one from 83 or is it or Kevin the younger one?
No, he's a younger one. He's class of 87, I believe. He's with Ralph Furlong.
7. All right. Because I know his bigger brother, but I know all the Brandenburg. They're all good kids.
Yes.
Brian McKean, happy birthday, Brian. Michael Big Mike Smith, happy birthday to you. Janet Casabon, I've heard that name. Happy birthday, Janet. Deanna Lob. Did I say that right? Or is it Lobby?
I think it's Laub or Laub. Yeah, I think
Laub.
something like that. Yeah.
Sorry, Deanna, but happy birthday to you, girl. Also, Maritza Landry, happy birthday. Linda Riley, class of 80. Very, very pretty girl.
Yep.
Reggie Hayden, Fred Johnson, and last but not least, our very good friend from Cristobal High School, who later came over to Balboa High School, our good friend David Poland.
Yes. Happy birthday to
Mr. David Motocross Poland.
Yep. And anybody that we didn't mention, happy birthday to you guys as well. So happy birthday to all of you guys there. And again, we're going to just move things along real quick. Whoa, what happened here? Quit pushing buttons, people. But nonetheless, we'll move things along here. We did try and we are getting better on getting some of these expedited. But nonetheless, let's do a little bit of Panama stuff, which is kind of works well for what we're going to talk about here in just a moment, because we're going to talk about some motocross events that go through a lot of Panama, a lot of the stuff that we've been learning about. But nonetheless, let's go through our Made in Panama segment, and then we'll jump on with these guys that have been waiting patiently with us here, and we'll get them on shortly here.
Chiriquí, llorera y
All right, guys. So there we are. Made in Panama. We like to talk about what goes on in Panama and a lot of the history of Panama from a different angle. You know, we focus a lot on the zone, but as if we've said recently, we're getting a bigger and bigger audience from Panama watching as well, and they enjoy some of that history. So we're going to learn a little bit about Panama's history as well. And so a couple of different things that we were been touching on. You know, the different provinces, we've learned about them recently, and of course there's a couple extra provinces now from when most of us left there. But this week, we're going to focus on the province of Darien. We've been talking a lot about the history of Panama recently, Columbus and making his way around the northern coast, and so all those discoveries, and then of course we recently talked about the pirate Morgan and attacking Panama, and a lot of that stuff started through Darien. You know, eventually, of course, Balboa, so the greatest town in the world, was named after Balboa, who discovered the Pacific. So, but Darien has played a big role in Panama's history for a long time. Recently it's been in the news. With we always had that misconception that everybody knows the Trans American Highway goes from
Yeah,
Alaska all the way to
yeah,
Chile,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Nobody's ever gonna get through that gap. It
Yes,
was
it was inhospitable
impassable.
and inaccessible and all that, and all of a sudden you turn the cameras on and there's thousands of people walking through there like nothing, man. It's just unbelievable how that gap just opened up, incredible. Like Moses, parted
All
the
those
jungle or
guys are like,
something, man.
yeah, yeah, you'll never make it through.
Get
Here,
out of
hold my
here,
beer.
man. Right? That's exactly what they did. Hold my
Hey,
beer and all of a sudden
we
the
shouldn't
caravan.
disrespect that, but we know how difficult that trek is. So here's a
It
cheers
is.
to those guys, man.
It is, man. Right on.
You
Nonetheless,
definitely
apparently they've
broke.
closed it now. Apparently they've made it inhospitable again, hopefully. So we'll see. But nonetheless, Darien's been around for a long time. In fact, at one point, uh, Panama was split into basically two provinces, Darien and Veraguas. So
Correct.
uh, and a lot went on there. Darien looks like it goes across the isthmus on both sides, like we learned that Aguas does, but that isn't the case because on the northern coast, hard to see on the maps there, but uh, they are bordered by Colombia. So their entire province ends where Colombia hits, and also where some of the Kuna Indian uh, areas over there are. So they don't have an Atlantic or Caribbean coast in Darien, but nonetheless, 1500 was in the 1500s was when they were settled. Here's something interesting. Okay, um, during the 1600s or 1700s, there was a lot of colonizing going on by the Europeans, and the Scottish wanted to get in on this. They didn't have a lot going on up there. In fact, they had a lot of scuffles with the English back then. It still wasn't Great Britain, and the Scottish decided to start a colony in Darien. And so in 1767, somewhere in there, about five ships, I think it was 1,200 people. It was a pretty good size amount. Went to Darien, and took them about 6-7 months to get there. And they arrived, and they actually made peace with the indigenous people in that area, and they established a place there called New Caledonia. Caledonia was the Roman term for Scotland. So that's what they called that place. In fact, one of the ships of the five that sailed there was the Caledonia. But interesting, even though a lot of these colonies, when they first started and they discovered these places, sometimes it was hit or miss whether you would get along with the indigenous people or not. In this case, they were fortunate that they did. But Panama was already establishing, Spain was already establishing areas in Panama and in South America and throughout Central America. And so they didn't take too kindly to these Scots, and they eventually pushed them out. They ended up going back to Jamaica. They had another group try and come in a few years later. Same thing. These guys actually surrendered to the Spaniards there. But you've heard of the area in Panama, Caledonia, and now you know where that name comes from. It was from Caledonia, which was
That's where the bus terminal was. Caledonia.
yes, correct,
Caledonia. Yeah, yeah.
correct.
You know what? Really great place to go buy clothes too, and like
Yes, a
drum
lot of
parts.
shopping around
You
there.
get all my drum stuff there, my drumming stuff there. You always get good deals down there.
A lot of stores within that
Good
area
tennis
for sure.
shoes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So Caledonia was again a Roman term, but it was named for the Scottish that tried to establish a a
Those guys are brave, man. You
right?
know who else lived in that area during that time? If you guys remember a couple of podcasts back, the Baiano people. Remember
Yeah,
Baiano? He was so
correct,
mean, so
correct.
badass, and
The
the,
first
they actually
Panamanian
told him,
hero.
yeah, they actually told, hey, you can have the king's treasure, man, but just don't kill us anymore.
Right, exactly. That was exactly it. So, but that was kind of interesting, and that we, I figured that would be a good province to go to next was with Darien
Yes,
because they played such a pivotal role early on in Panama's history. But
yes, yes.
you know, so then looking for a couple other things to throw into this segment, I started finding a couple of firsts, and Panama has a lot of firsts, which was really really cool. Um,
You know what? David Dahlstrom talked about that too with the canal. There was a lot of first this and first that.
yes, yes, it's always very unique how a lot of that stuff happens. Um, Yes, okay. Leaf says we're not on YouTube. We are. There's some interesting things going on with Leaf, but we're on a different YouTube channel. You'll be able to see it on a rerun afterwards. But I'm gonna have to try and unschedule everything and reschedule them and see what happens moving forward, so we don't have this issue. Um, but
I think it happened last week too.
it did, yeah. It's again this new platform. We're still trying to figure it out. But let's real quick say hi to a couple of people because they have chimed in. Andrew came in and talking about come see Panama every Saturday and Sunday. They go to the Perlas Islands, so that's a really cool thing to do. And something interesting that he threw out there for this promo this weekend. If you mention Happy Hour at the Balboa Yacht Club, you sail this Sunday 20% off if you want to go do a Sunday.
3% off.
Yeah,
That's good.
you
Good.
want to go out to Contadora for the day, check these guys out and mention the show, and they'll give you a nice little discount there for sure, man.
Yeah, we
Uh,
got a good comment here that I want to address with Rory, my good friend Rory. Rory, what he discovered it for the Europeans. He didn't discover it for the indigenous. He discovered it for the Europeans. So
True.
that's what that means. So
Yeah,
when people say, when people are already living there, yes, 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 we know.
yeah,
But
and
they
there
were
was
discovering it for the Europeans.
yeah, and you know what? Even within the indigenous tribes, they probably a new tribe came in and discovered it as well, and, and next thing you know, that was their gig. But
They discovered it for those people. But
yeah,
yeah, a lot of times that doesn't make sense when you hear like, "Oh, Christopher Columbus discovered America," right? But
yeah, and technically, he discovered the Caribbean. It wasn't the Americas per se, but whatever. Nonetheless, it brought a lot of Spaniards over, which developed Panama. So hey, you know what? We got a we
Same.
got a canal, right? And so that ended up being our canal zone, one way or the other. But
Thanks for the comment, Rory.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. About the industrial, yeah, that was really cool, and I appreciate you throwing that out there. That's some Juan throws out some good stuff. Look him up on Instagram, guys. Canal Zone PTY. It's a really really cool channel. He's got a lot of great pictures on there as well, for sure.
And good Canal Zone history too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But again, talking about Panama and this unique lot of firsts that we mentioned before. First country outside of the United States to sell Coca-Cola was Panama. How about that? Kind of interesting there.
It had
Uh,
to be for the Zonians, though. I would
I would
imagine, right?
think so. I would think a lot of
Yeah.
those maybe had that American influence because of the Canal Zone for sure.
Well, it was also to keep them there. Remember that Stevens was it? No, Gothals knew that he had to build. No, Stevens that he had to build these beautiful towns, and that's why the Canal Zone is so beautiful
And they had to take care of people. They had to
because
take
they had
care
to
of
take care
families.
of people.
Even early on, recreation was important, and some of the, the nicer things in life. A Coca Cola is obviously not essential, but it's kind of nice to be able to drink that as well instead of just always drinking
We
water.
were the
So
first. We were the first.
yeah, Panama was the first Latin American country to adopt the U.S. currency. Interesting.
That's
Okay,
cool.
now that one
But wait,
kind of
wait,
makes
Willie.
sense.
Sorry, I hate to interrupt you, but before we get off Coca Cola, there's a restaurant in Panama in Casco Viejo
Yes,
uh, called Cafe Coca Cola. Now
very
they
very well
don't
known.
have the reason why they can use that is because they used that name on that restaurant before
Yes,
Coca Cola
that's how long they've
trademarked.
been around.
It's how long they've been around.
Yes.
Now we have a couple of paparazzis down there doing some restaurant tasting for us, and we're gonna ask them to go to that restaurant and give us an update
Yeah,
on
no,
what.
that's very true, man. That's exactly right. It is their they do have that, and that again shows that how long they've been there because Coca-Cola's been around since
Yes,
1906 was when they were first sold in Panama. So that's
and
pretty impressive.
Coca-Cola's top executives are known to be seen there because of
Ah,
the how they cannot bully them and say, "Hey, you can't use our
they probably
name."
have a good relationship with them, I'm assuming,
Well,
because
they
I
do,
mean,
they do. That's the whole thing they do,
yeah,
and then the executives go to Panama to this restaurant
very good, very good.
because it's
No, that's
above them. It's one. They're one ahead of them.
No, that's absolutely very interesting. Then the other one, like I said, was that first one to adopt the U.S. dollar, and I'll have this in another segment of Made in Panama, but I'll tease it real quick. There was a time in the '40s when Panama introduced their own currency. Okay, they printed their own dollars and currency. Didn't last very long, so I'll just leave it at that. So stay tuned later on for that one. But they did do that. They adopted the U.S. dollar in 1904, so it was shortly after they became a country, obviously, and it probably made sense because there was nothing else flowing around except the dollar. So another first. They were the first Catholic diocese in the American continent was built in Panama. The Catholic Church obviously has always played a big role in with Spain. King Charles of Spain, when they were first discovering all these areas, was also the Holy Roman Emperor. So there's always been a close connection to the Church and Spain, and certainly the New World in the Latin part obviously got that influence. So in 1510, they established the first diocese in Panama. Check this one out, right? We know about the first railroad from ocean to ocean was the Panama Railroad, right?
Transcontinental.
The first transcontinental was that one. Here's another interesting transportation first. The first ocean to ocean flight was done in Panama in 1913. First airplane to go from one to the other. How about that? Most people don't realize that was another first there. So that was kind of cool. What else do we have here? We talked last week, October 11th. We talked about the Torrijos taking over and that stuff, and that kind of superseded some other big news because that obviously is a really big deal. Certainly that ended starting 21 plus years of military rule in Panama. So that was a big deal, and that's obviously he was the heart and soul of the negotiations to return the canal. So again, a big deal there. But on October 12th, the next day, not in 68, but much earlier on, back in 1913, President Woodrow Wilson pressed a button at the White House and triggered that explosion we've seen and we talked about to blow up the dike in Gamboa. And that was the first time that the waters were brought together. Canal wasn't done yet, but as part of the construction, they did that. And what's interesting about that is it was kind of a change of plans that they did this for. They were getting to the point where a lot of the excavation they were doing now was there was a lot of landslides. A lot of it was still the Culebra Cut, and there's a lot of slides there. And they realized that it's going to be easier to do this with the water dredges as opposed to the ones on the rails, the big Bucyrus ones. So they decided, hey, let's flood the area. Let's go ahead and blow those dikes now and get some of that water in there coming off of the Chagres, so we can bring these big giant dredges in that are on those barges. And it was much more effective way to finish dredging out the canal and building it. So when
So
we
Willie,
see that,
the first time was when the president pressed the button was like a ocean across the ocean telegram. Was that like the first?
it was a telegraph that went from the White House all the way to that area where they triggered the explosion. But again, a lot of people assume that that's okay, great. Now we're opening the canal. That wasn't quite the reason why they were doing it. More so to flood the area and finish their construction. But it was obviously very close because at that point they were almost completing it anyway. But nonetheless, that was on October 12th, which is again a big deal for the canals, and it was kind of overshadowed with all that information about Torrijos and whatnot. Uh, so yeah, so that was I just that was kind of interesting, and again, interesting part of what is what we consider the history of the canal zone and everything that goes by there. Obviously, we touch more on that beginning of the month when we have Dave on with our historian non-historian Dave Dahlstrom. But nonetheless, I thought that was kind of a cool thing to mention, regardless. So that's our Panama segment there. And again, we've run a little bit long, guys. So we're gonna bring on some friends of ours. one of the sponsors of our gift program. But these guys are all about motocross. We know Jerry Curtis obviously is probably one of the best known motocross riders in the zone. Certainly somebody that dominated there and continues to dominate here in the United States. You know, even into his 60s, the guy is still unstoppable, right? So, you know, we're gonna bring these guys on now, and they're gonna talk about a program that they have called Panama Motorcycle Adventures. And these guys have a big program involving a motorcycle race, but they have a lot of other stuff as well. And I'm not going to steal their thunder. We're going to bring these guys on. So we have two of our friends, Abdiel and Jerry from Panama Motorcycle Adventures. Welcome to the show, guys. Glad to have you guys on, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. So listen,
Sorry, I was actually I just ran from the yard because I was taking a leak because this took so long.
that's all right. This is that's typically what
Hey,
happens
this
in a
was the
bar, so
short
it's
version.
par for the course here, right? You absolutely, no, absolutely, and Abdiel,
And I'm out
bienvenido.
of beer already.
Oh, well, that's not good. We need to fix that. You'll have to run and get yourself a beer. But
No, I already made an order.
yeah, so you know, Jerry was going to join us last week. We were ready to queue everything up, and of course that hurricane hit it. And Jerry's been, you know, and his company have been doing a lot helping out in the community. So kudos to you, man. Sucks that you had to do all that stuff, but glad you're with us now here, so we can talk about you know, what we're, you know, what you guys have going on with Panama Motorcycle Adventure. So Jerry, welcome. Abdiel, bienvenido. And I gotta stop real quick and ask, Abdiel, ¿qué te pareció el video ayer? Hablando en inglés. No, el micrófono, tienes el micrófono apagado.
Thank you.
So while he's getting that figured out real quick. Ahora sí, ahora sí, ahora sí, Ofi.
So
Yeah. No, it was funny. I was fooling around with this new AI tool that I have, and he does on one of the videos here. It's all in Spanish, and I just plugged it in there, and this thing in like 20 minutes, it spit out the entire thing in perfect English. His lips move exactly right to the words, and it's his voice and everything. It's kind of scary that they can manipulate you that way and get you to pretty much say whatever the hell they want, man. But anyway, welcome, guys. Appreciate having you guys on. Let's just start from the beginning. You know, we know Jerry's story. Jerry's been racing since he was walking, it seems, right? The guy knows how to ride a bike like he knows how to walk. But Abdiel, what's your background with motocross? Very good, very good. Yeah, from all the videos, it seems like it's a great partnership, and you guys having a lot of fun doing that. Now, do you ride motocross as well? Okay, okay. Sure, of course. Well, you can't be selling it if you can't write it yourself. So that's that's always absolutely so. And now, so ocean to ocean, when did that? When did you start that? Because you said you had started and you invited Jerry. Then, so when did ocean to ocean get started? Okay, right. Wow, 20. So we're going on 10 years now. And Jerry, your first time doing it, what was that like for you when you did that? You know, having started your racing career in Panama, but this was, I guess, an altogether different way of riding motorcycles in Panama for you.
Yeah, because I was riding motocross, but when Abdel called me and he said, "Hey, would you like to come ride ocean to ocean?" I immediately agreed, and we went down there, and it was rainy season, so um, that year I think I rode 17 kilometers in probably 24 hours.
Wow.
We started off in Palmeras, which is on the Atlantic side, and it was push pull. You know, we ended up getting pulled out by donkeys. It was
You've come a long way then.
it was. I was out of water by 9 o'clock in the morning. We were drinking out of streams.
Oh, that's great.
So we decided, and after that, we created a relationship, and Abdel and I ended up um, putting together a company called we ended up becoming the KTM importers for Panama. So we ended up opening a bike shop in Panama,
Nice.
and it just kind of grew and morphed from that point. We have a bike shop in Panama. We were the KTM importers. We ended up having a falling out with KTM because we're more of like, fun and go out and do rides rather than business with
Yeah, you're breaking up there, Jerry.
to sell a bunch of bikes. But we want to ride fun and take people's. So we kind of backed down our company and focused on that. We still have a bike shop, Yacht, it's actually now in Santa Clara, because there's a lot of business. So Panama Motorcycle Adventures is not only motorcycles now anymore; it's actually UTVs. So people can come down and like rent a UTV and ride with us along the trail as we're doing the ocean to ocean enduro or
Very cool.
rally now is what we call it.
Yeah. Okay. So now, Abdiel, so you guys have you and Jerry have come together now and realize, hey, there's a market here for all this stuff. You have the issues with KTM, so focus now is more on this bringing people to Panama to ride, and not necessarily
Yeah,
motocross riders,
the fun
enduro
stuff.
riders. Right. Right. So now, what at what point did you have you guys kind of locked in a route there and started growing and adding all these other programs? And by the way, real quick, the guy you see on the screen right there, this interview, this guy's from Costa Rica. He's 70 years old and he's riding out there with these guys. Unbelievable, man. When I saw that and listened to this guy, unbelievable. Kudos to that guy. You know what? Salute, man. Cheers to your boy there. At 70 years old. Are you kidding me? Come on, man. Yes, I have family in Costa Rica, so as
No,
soon as he was
they
talking, I heard
rode
him
their
say,
bikes.
"Yes." Well, he got on there and he's talking and he said something and, "Oh, ¿qué pasó, huevón?" And I was like, "That's Costa Rica right there." As soon as I heard that, I was like, "Tico, ese es un tico ahí." But that's
Yeah,
impressive, man.
these guys actually 30 or 40 riders from Costa Rica rode their motorcycles from Costa Rica, rode from ocean to ocean 3 days, 500 kilometers, and basically rode back to Costa Rica.
That's an Iron Man right there, man.
So the way that we have the route set up, I mean, Abdel has worked endless hours of setting up routes. We have a route for hard enduro. It's like the pro. There's dual sport. We have a route for UTVs, which are people in like Can-Ams and those little side by sides. And now, in the last year, we put together a route for overlanders, which is like Jeeps or Jeeps. Like Land Cruisers or Jeeps or whatever. And
Broncos.
it's actually grown. I believe. How many entries did we have last year, Abdel?
That's incredible, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's growing. It's almost going to be like it's going to be like Baja 1000 in Panama. That
Wow.
that's our goal.
Yeah.
Is
Man, that's
to
incredible, man. Good for
make
you guys. Well, you know what?
it
Let's
a world class
Yeah, so
event.
so here's the website, guys. If you guys want to check them out, they're at
Where
panamamotorcycleadventures.com. Okay. And we've got their
people
website up here. You can check out, it's got a
and
lot of great information on what they do. You know, they've got the off-road experience here, as you can see, with the 4x4s. Um, you know, a lot of great footage. And this is the cool thing, guys. One of these videos that they have on there, when you hear the guy riding and he's narrating as he's riding, you can hear in his voice the awe as he comes over a ridge and you realize you're way up in the mountains there on this enduro bike. And it's just, you know, I can just imagine that feeling, that sensation as you see these guys just, you know, they are hauling ass and running up through these trails, and all of a sudden you come over the end and you realize you're thousands of feet up in the mountains. Then you're basically in the continental divide, and now Abdiel, you scout out these routes here. How do you pick your routes? How do you go about doing this? What's the story on that? Sure. Yeah, 80 kilometers. Who the hell's going to go down there and do that? You're done in 20 minutes. Okay, thank you. Bye. You know, you got to make it work. Yeah, sure. Wow. Oh, there you go. So now, uh, you're doing them mostly in dry season now, I'm assuming, right? Because rainy season just it makes it impassable. Is that correct, or how do you work that out? Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's interesting because when we talk about, you know, the history of the canal and the Chagres River, there was times when a lot of people looked at the Chagres River as a possible canal route, but that was the big problem, was that in rainy season it was uncontrollable. It was just way too big, and that's not just the Chagres River. That's pretty much every river in Panama because it's. I mean, that's that whole country's in the rainforest. So you know, yeah, no, absolutely. So now, you know, you guys talk about enduro, super enduro. Jerry, what is the difference between enduro and super enduro? And for that matter, for the folks that aren't into motocross or that knowledgeable, what is motocross versus enduro? How would you define the two of those? Jerry might have been frozen up. So Abdiel, what would you say is the difference, you know, between those, you know, the motocross and enduro, and then enduro and super enduro? Okay. Yeah. Sure. But you know what you're doing. In motocross, they practice them, they know the track, they know where the jumps are, so in that sense versus enduro, it's interesting on watching that short video, I think it was the, what was the guy's name? Was it Track Raider or what was one of the guys that you sent me one of those videos on there? Um, anyhow, he's the guy that's filming himself as he's going up the hill there. And at one point, he is coming up pretty fast over a ridge, and he's got to slam the brakes on. He's like, "Whoa!" And, because there's that ridge over the end there. And I guess that's more of what enduro is. You don't really know what you're getting into until you get there. Interesting. Yeah, right. And so that's more akin to being out in nature. In fact, here's some of that video right there playing right now. Well, it'll start here in just a moment, but see if I can find that spot. See, like right some of these areas here where this guy shows his video, he is flying up there, and it's basically a blind turn, and you may there may be a 300-foot drop on the end of that if you better watch yourself and know how to make that turn. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and what we're showing here, here's another interesting piece, and this is something that was brought up recently when we were talking about this race, and Ricky brought it up, when they're promoting it. We just saw that helicopter there, and that's something. Abdel, tell us about that, and what that is. It's not certainly to scare anybody about the dangers here, but it is off roading. You certainly are, but more so about the support that you guys have in this program here. So tell us about this helicopter here and what you guys got going on there. Sure, and keeping in mind that the route that you guys are taking is not exactly accessible all the time, and so the thought of getting somebody in an ambulance or some medical care out to you via road, you're talking probably several hours, best case. And so in these situations, it's nice to have knowing that you have that and you're able to suddenly get medical care right away and get somebody to what they need, like they showed in this video here, which is again just something that shows to what level you've taken this program. Right. Yeah, see, so even at the end of the event, he was back because of being able to get out there quickly, get treated, and then, unfortunately, he wasn't gonna ride anymore for a bit, but that's again, it's something that's important to have when you have, a function like this because as you can see, look at the way this guy's driving there. Can you imagine trying to get an ambulance through there? This thing is built to be off-road, and he's struggling. So, forget about it. If you're trying to get an ambulance there, it ain't gonna happen, man. You're gonna suffer. And it's going to be painful as hell with a broken leg to be going in that thing all the way to the hospital.
Bouncing around. I got a question, Abdiel. How long when you guys do these rides? How long does it take? Like day one, let's say. How many hours of riding do you Yeah. And
Hmm.
another question. So, how about like do you guys stop to eat throughout the way? Is there like a midpoint where everybody goes and checks in and maybe gets a meal, or do you have to bring your own meals?
Mm.
So 5 stations where you can eat or use the bathroom or like you said, get repairs, etc. Okay. All righty, got it. Got it. Understood.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, no, and go ahead, Dr. Ricky.
Yeah, Abdia, one another question I have is so let's say you want to you live in the U.S. and you want to come down to ride, but you can't bring equipment, bikes, boots, etc. How do you set up somebody from the U.S. that wants to participate and do these tours? Good, good,
Perfect.
good to know. Yes,
Yeah. Well, even when the airlines lose your gear, at least you'll still be able to ride, right? Because you know that happens, right? You show up there, where's my baggage? It's not there. Hey, real quick, I just noticed this in the chats, and it was a couple of minutes ago, so I'm not sure if it's still going on. But someone said that they couldn't hear audio. Let me know if somebody can throw it in the chat real quick if you can hear all three of us talking. Jerry's having some connection issues, so he's on standby. But let us know if the rest of us are able to be heard. Otherwise, we'll see what we can do to get that fixed. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and go back to the website here because I want to talk a little bit more about about what you guys have here on the website itself. So we talk about the different tours that you guys are offering, right? And so here's one here, a 1 day tour. What's that all about? A 1 day tour? Is that kind of what you were saying? If somebody's staying at Playa Blanca and all of a sudden they decide, hey, let's go bike riding, is this something that you'd be able to do like that, arrange last minute, or how does that work?
I
I
think
think
Jerry's off.
yeah, I think he fell off again. Wow,
And
very
that includes the bike? Wow, that's a
that's
good
amazing.
price.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great, man. Yeah. And they got 3 different ones I'm looking at here on the screen that high peaks and beautiful rivers. They'll pick you up at your hotel. This is cool, guys. A guide will pick you up at the hotel and then head up to Cerro Azul. And that's where you're gonna get your ride and have that ride 6 to 8 hours, a minimum of 2 people. But again, you have a guide with you, and that's going through a lot of rivers and mountainous area there. So that would be a really cool ride. Then they have a beach and jungle ride. You start in the Pacific Ocean, right up the beautiful town of El Valle, which obviously a lot of us Zonians are familiar with El Valle. Go in there, continue to Chiriquí, to Cascada Tavida, and you hang out there. Look, okay, look, Jerry's back. Yep. Jerry,
Yep.
we're talking about these day tours you guys have there.
Yeah, and by the way, so we moved our shop out to uh, Santa Clara.
Okay.
Yeah, so with that said, mainly because there's so much side by side and UTV
Yeah.
business out there.
Okay. Might as well be where it's at.
Yeah, yeah, and it's easier. I mean, the city is kind of a mess.
Gotcha.
So
makes sense.
we eventually the idea is to add the side by side rentals. So if people from the Canal Zone people want to come rent a side by side, and they will have that opportunity, and we can take them on guided tours through that. There's actually trails that go from Santa Clara up to El Valle through
That's
back roads,
amazing.
which are kind of nice.
Yeah, and for those of us that haven't been to Panama in a long time, we're thinking of God, go from there to El Valle. Holy shit, that's got to be hours, but not really when you're doing it on the back roads. It's probably a little bit more direct of a route that you guys are taking, even though it's
It's actually there's some beautiful vistas going
okay.
up that way.
Nice, very cool. Okay, so now, when are you guys? When is your next ocean to ocean starting? When is it scheduled for? Okay. So right after the Canal Zone reunion. So anybody that's into motocross and wants to try this, if you're going to be down there, this is a great opportunity to take advantage of this and really get the full experience of going back to Panama. So it's January 31st through February 3rd, and it's the ocean to ocean. So they just go to the website here to sign up for that. Or is that correct? If they're interested. Well, there you go, guys. And on the screen is the website, PanamaMotorcycleAdventures.com, the ultimate off-road experience. And it certainly is from looking at those videos, guys, and from the sound of this all. And this isn't going to be the last time these guys are on. They're going to be joining us again here probably in another month or so as we get closer to that date when we're actually going to talk about the actual ocean to ocean. We're going to go over the route, go over some of the different scenic areas, things to look forward to if you're going to be involved in that. It looks like a lot of fun. It's something that Ricky and I may not be the most enduro friendly people out there, but there's room there somewhere for us.
Side by side sounds like our deal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you guys are side by side guys.
Yeah, that would be a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Right. Excellent, excellent, and that's what we're definitely will be looking at that as well because, yeah, obviously your motocross, your motorcycle riding audience is limited, but people that want to experience Panama in a different way that even for people that live there for 30, 40, 50 years never ever saw Panama the way you guys look at it, and so that to me is what makes this so special and unique. Is
And worth it.
yeah.
Really, could we look and see what side by sides are in case people don't know what we're talking
Yeah,
about?
for sure. Let me pull it up here. I'm assuming it's on here.
Some of
These
the
guys.
bikes that
Yeah,
they
it'd be the
use.
first picture on our website. Go down one right there.
Okay,
It's basically they come in a 4-seater and two-seater configuration.
excellent. Perfect. Let me zoom that up a little bit.
And are they automatic or they're gears?
Oh, there's gears.
Okay. Very cool. No, that's great because again, for those of us that don't want to ride on a motorcycle but want to experience that, there you go. So you
Yeah,
get
and
the
you
best
can
of both
And a
worlds.
lot of fun.
And you can carry a cooler.
Right
Even
on. Yes.
better. Forget about it. Well, that's the scary part there because yeah, we're gonna ride that thing off the damn hill now. You, you fill that thing
That's
with
why
enough
we
beer.
have to guide you.
There you go. Fair enough. Fair enough. Wow, that's awesome. So now I'm looking forward to the next visit because again, we're going to go over that route, go over where it is, how you start when you first kick it off, what you guys think is probably the most challenging areas, what the most scenic areas are, and maybe if you have some video from prior ones that we can share as well, so people can see what they're in for and what they're in store for. Because this looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, how it's evolved. It sure has. Well, and listen, in 10 years of doing this and it continues to grow, I mean, some of these events, when you see the crowd out there for that, I guess the group picture, there's a lot of people there. That's a good sized group, man. That's got to be a lot of fun. Now,
And by the way, Willie, most of the proceeds we donate to charity.
oh,
Um,
very good.
Abdel donates to Children's Hospital a lot of the proceeds,
That's
the entry
awesome.
fees
There
and
you go.
stuff.
So
So
listen,
yeah,
guys, you get to have a great time and you're helping out. You're giving back to the community. So that's a win-win for sure, man. But yeah, no, that's great. And here again, there's some yeah, no, certainly. And look at some of the footage that you're seeing on here. Let me get this banner out of the way real quick. But you know, this is what you guys are in store for here. Whether it's on these four wheelers, these 4x4s, whether it's on the side by sides, or you're actually on one of those enduro bikes. Look at these views here, guys. You're talking about up in the mountains in Panama, which a lot of us Zonians didn't get a chance to experience. Most Zonians were either hanging out in the zone or going to the beach, right? There wasn't a lot of this here. So, but it's just there's some real yeah, look at that. I mean, this is enduro out there. You are out in nature here. And this is funny how he slows down. He's like, "Whoa, look at this drop off." Because that's quite a ways down from there. It's I mean,
the
that's got to be
video
some
does
amazing.
not do it justice as how steep that is going down.
I'll bet. I'll bet. And in a historical sense, you can almost going over some of those ridges, you can kind of see when we talk about Balboa discovering the Pacific Ocean. This is what he kind of saw up in those mountains was, all that land in front and then those oceans out there. So look at that, guys. I mean, look at that. That's a crowd having a blast there, man. And then of course you got the old broken leg there, but thank God you had a helicopter to take care of him. So, that worked out well. But so listen, guys, let's probably November, mid-November, if you guys are ready to come back, we'll get you back on again. We're going to talk about that ocean to ocean race. You're going to talk about it as if you guys were there. So everybody in the audience is get to experience what that's all about. But check them out, guys. You don't have to be a motorcycle rider to experience this. This is an amazing way to see Panama like you've never seen it before. Be able to stand on a mountain up there and see both oceans, all of that stuff. This is what these guys are going to give you. And then the best part is at the end of it all, you're at a really kick-ass place out on the beach, man. So all in all, it's a really, really good time, a great opportunity. If you don't have gear, they've got gear for you. If the airlines lose your luggage, they've got gear for you there. They've got bikes for you, helmets, you name it. They've got it all available. So definitely check them out. Again, the website for these guys is PanamaMotorcycleAdventures.com. They are definitely the ultimate off-road experience. So give them a visit, say hello to them, and we will look forward to having you guys on here in a couple of weeks and finish this awesome story, man. So, Abdel, Jerry, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate having you guys on. Have an awesome rest of the weekend, and we'll be talking to you guys here in a couple of weeks again.
Couple of weeks. Thank you guys for coming on.
You got it. Take care, guys.
Gracias, Abdiel. Gracias.
Look, I see. That was
Willie,
awesome, man.
I'm definitely gonna try that, man.
That sounds like a lot of
Yeah,
fun, man.
we
I'm
definitely
telling
gotta
you.
try that.
Guys, this is an
Side by
awesome way
side,
to
it was fun.
experience Panama like nobody else ever has. We brag about what a beautiful country it is, but we missed out on a lot of it just because we were too busy being Zonians.
Right.
Which is kind of a
Not
silly thing
everybody
to
had
say.
motorcycles either.
True,
That was
true.
yeah.
And well, and listen, no kidding. When we were down there, none of this was going on. right? This is stuff that's recently, what did they say, 2014 it started. So this is something newer, and obviously the technology's there to be able to scout it out. Abdiel, like you said, he puts, hundreds of hours in there to scout these places out, which is pretty cool gig to have anyway, right? This is my job, is to find some cool trails in Panama. But
And to hang out with Jerry, so that's
yeah,
kind of cool too.
and other world famous motorcycle riders,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Because
because
this
they
is
do
something that
bring
people are,
several. Yeah.
yeah, so good stuff. Congrats to them on their success. Hopefully they'll continue to do this, and we're gonna have to have a happy hour at the Balboa Yacht Club gig from that show one day. When they finish that race, we'll broadcast from there, having done it ourselves, and um, that'll be some good stuff. So yeah, that was a cool show. I'm glad I had them on. That was actually Ricky's insistence on, hey, we got to get them on. I was like, I know we got to get it. He's like, no, let's get them on. So here they are. Appreciate
Yeah,
you
yeah,
pushing
yeah.
that one, because this is a lot of fun. These guys do great stuff, man, and it's exciting to hear about it. Exciting to hear all that success. So, but listen, about the hour and a half mark, a little bit over. Again, guys, apologies for the issues. I'm gonna do my best to get them straightened out. I may have to cancel all the upcoming shows and reschedule everything, start from scratch, because I think we've got some stuff overlapping. There's a bunch of people I think we're waiting in the channel to watch it on the actually, which is kind of
It
strange.
never loaded. It never loaded. YouTube never
Yeah.
loaded.
Yeah. So but nonetheless, it's part of the what we do, part of the new gig, so anyhow, let's
Learning this platform.
yeah.
Before we had like 4 buttons to press. Now we got like 300.
Yeah. No, and you know what? All kidding aside, if somebody that's available on Friday nights that is able to join us and wants to help us out and put in some time, and it is not just Friday nights, because there's 1 or 2 nights a week that we do show prep and we get things going. But even if it's just somebody that during the show on Friday nights can help us, to set things up and click things and get it going right, because it's a great system we have. It's a really cool streaming platform. It has a lot of awesome bells and whistles. I mean, here's some silly things we can do with this. That like when one of us says something stupid, we can do one of these. Yeah, it's just silly
None
fun
of them
things like that.
loading, none of them loading
There's a
us
lot
up.
of, yeah. I mean, listen, this thing is feature loaded, so I'm glad we switched platforms, but the learning curve has been a little bit more than we anticipated. So apologies again for all of that stuff, but nonetheless, let's go ahead
Wrap
and,
this
and
up.
yeah,
Thank you
let's
guys.
wrap this thing up. Absolutely. Yeah, it's been fun, guys. Had a good time tonight. Watch it on the recorded version if you didn't watch it live. We'll get some stuff straightened out here. But you know, next week is going to be an open air show. Although tentatively we may have some Allbrook Jets joining us. We're still trying to get that taken care of. Otherwise, though, we're going to have some fun with you guys. We're going to bring back our spillway issues and information. That's a lot of fun revisiting those newspapers and seeing all the things that were going on in our communities back then. So that should be a lot of fun. But anyhow, midway through the month, a little past it now, so we're getting towards that spooky season. Halloween is coming up around the corner, so everybody have fun with that. But nonetheless, thanks again for joining us. Keep spreading the word, keep sharing the show so we can continue to grow it. Friday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, happy hour at the Balboa Yacht Club. So, but again, a lot of fun here. Have an awesome weekend. And Ricky, get us out of here, man.